So my boyfriend is coming over and he's gonna cook dinner for me and we're gonna have dinner together. He's gonna cook, which is really nice because I can't be bothered to cook, so that's good. Yeah, and I don't really feel anxious about what he's gonna make. So that's nice too. So I'm just gonna make lunch. I'm gonna have tacos, I think, because I have some leftover taco mix. So I have tacos, taco mix, lettuce, tomato, cheese. We don't have any sour cream. We don't have any avocado. So I think that's all I'll have in it. I've actually been trying to eat more recently, particularly during the day, and so it's something that, okay, I'm just gonna stay here. So something that I'm working on at the moment is really trying to recognize my hunger cues, because that's actually something that I still struggle with, because hunger cues don't necessarily mean a rumbling stomach, and in my case I often won't get a rumbling stomach, or I will get a rumbling stomach, but only when I'm really hungry and I should have already eaten before getting to that point. So for me, I think I've noticed recently that probably the first hunger cue that I get is probably thinking about food. If I'm thinking about food, I need to eat, and that has been true throughout my recovery. But if I'm really engaged in something, I won't think about food even when I start feeling hungry, because I've come a long way in my recovery, and so my mental hunger, thoughts about food happen a lot less now. I used to be totally obsessed with food. I would watch what I eat in a day videos, and now I find those pretty boring. Actually, struggling to find something to watch on YouTube, because I don't enjoy watching those videos anymore, really. So if anyone has suggestions, let me know. But yeah, so I'm not thinking about food as much. So when I'm working hard or doing something that I'm engaged with, sometimes I just won't get mental hunger, but what I get instead is like a slight headache, and that is probably the first physical hunger cue that I get. So I have a slight headache right now, so I'm gonna make tacos. My knees are hurting, but yeah, so that's what so I'm trying to work on recognizing my hunger cues, and second of all, eating more throughout the day, because, and there are a few reasons for that, because, this is painful. One of them is because I think it's just always important for me to eat a lot, and if I don't eat enough on a particular day, often the next day I will have quite bad eating disorder thoughts. Like even just slightly less than usual, I will end up with bad eating disorder thoughts, and so I take that as an indicator that perhaps I need to gain a bit more weight, and to do that I need to eat more. So I'm trying to eat more. So just basically eating more for dinner, eating more anytime really, eating more snacks, mainly snacks. The other reason, which I've talked about before in my videos, about how I used to eat a lot at night, and it's quite annoying doing that. Like, there's nothing wrong with eating at night, definitely not, and often I still eat a lot at night, but it's also quite inconvenient, and I get tired and I just want to go to sleep, and I really want to be able to eat just regularly throughout the day and not have to eat lots at night, because it's just, it's annoying. And so that doesn't that sort of eating heaps at night doesn't happen to me so much anymore, but it does happen sometimes. And so I think yeah, maybe I need to gain a bit more weight, maybe I need to eat more during the day, and I might as well just try it out. Yeah, so I'm just trying to eat more and see what happens. But other than that, eating disorder wise, I'm doing pretty well at the moment. I'm pretty happy. I'm gonna go to volunteering this afternoon, which I'm really excited about. Oh, something I did want to talk about though is in relation to my exercise video. So someone asked me about walking and recovery, and if when I stopped exercising I kept walking, and the answer is yes initially, but then no. So initially I would go for walks because like my mum likes going for walks, she liked having company on walks, and walks are there are a lot of influencers and people out there who go for a daily walk or like a morning walk, and that's all good for those people if they truly enjoy doing that, and that brings them happiness. But honestly, it did not bring me happiness. I tried it and it became compulsive quickly. I didn't find walking to be, and even my therapist suggested to me, like, why not try going for mindful walks? Like, we allow you to do that kind of exercise. But mindful walking for me was just walking until my eating disorder was satisfied that I had done enough walking for the day. Like, it was reaching a certain number of steps or going a certain distance or going for a certain length of time, and it wasn't about enjoying the scenery or anything. It was really about just getting it done so that I wouldn't feel anxious. And so I hated that. I really hated it. It took a lot of time out of my day. I pretended to myself that I enjoyed it, but I really didn't. And so I stopped walking. And now, like, my other family members will still go for walks and they'll invite me, and I'm very honest. I'm like, I don't like going for walks. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I will go for a very short walk with a friend or a family member, but I don't generally go for walks by myself. If I want to get outdoors, I will sit outside. I don't walk outside. Yeah, so I guess my point is, it's all about your intention and being mindful about what you're doing. I think that stopping walking was extremely beneficial for me because as I said in another video, I had an injury. I injured my foot, which meant that I had like 6 weeks, I had like 8 or 10 weeks when I couldn't walk, or I could walk near the end, but it was better to heal the injury for as long as possible. And that would have been so hard for me earlier in my recovery, like not being able to walk or do any form of exercise for 10 weeks, almost, yeah, over 2 months. But because I've practiced resting, I've practiced not doing exercise, I wasn't anxious about it. I mean, initially I was kind of sad because I do like getting outdoors and I do like doing some form of movement sometimes because I'm in a place where I can do that now, and it does help my depression. But it's something that you know, I still monitor. I wasn't worried about if I would gain weight. I didn't decrease the amounts I was eating, which would have happened in the past if I had to stop doing exercise for some reason, for like a day or 2 days, 3 days. Then I would reduce what I was eating because, oh, I'm not moving, so I don't need to eat as much, which is not true. Like, I kept eating as much as I always do, and I also have other coping mechanisms for my mood aside from exercise. So that is something really important to develop, because, and for anyone, not just people with eating disorders, you need to have coping mechanisms other than exercise, because exercise or movement is really a privilege, and it could be easily taken away from you, and you don't know when or if that's going to happen, but it's helpful to have other ways of coping with things. So like for me, reading a good book, or talking with a friend, talking with my sister, journaling, you know, other coping strategies. I'm gonna stop talking now and make my tacos, but that's probably all I'm gonna say for this video, because I haven't struggled much with my eating disorder this week, to be honest, and so I don't have a lot to say. But if you have questions, then I can certainly address those. So yeah, I'm gonna eat tacos now, but if I don't record again, sending you lots of love wherever you are. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a good week and challenging your eating disorder. Okay, bye. So, tacos, but I might have to have another one because I still have stuff left, so. I am making a pumpkin and chickpea curry for dinner, which would have really scared me in the past. Using pumpkin and brown rice would have scared me too much because double carbs or whatever, and this recipe uses quite a lot of olive oil as well as coconut milk or coconut cream or something, and that also would have scared me because I would have thought it was too high in fat, especially with the cashew nuts as well. But now I don't really care, which is great. It's really good to be at this point. I probably feel like a very, very small amount of anxiety, like very tiny, so that I can actually just ignore it. Like when I looked at the recipe, I had a few thoughts like, oh, you can't do that because it has coconut cream, but I can just brush it aside and make it anyway. So yeah, so I still have thoughts, yes, but it is so much easier to ignore them now, and I'm excited to eat this because it sounds delicious.